I don't really have a lot of words of wisdom for you right now, so I'm just going to go on a little ramble here and see where we end up. So today, we are going to talk about the art of letting go, which is something I have struggled with for quite literally my entire life. I have been someone that has tried to grapple a hold of control and find absolutes. And what I mean by that is everything in my life, I try to make sure that if I like it, it'll stay there forever. If I like it, I try to find a way of controlling it so that it'll stay there. Or I think up or imagine a future in which it'll always be there. So recently, I found peace again, and I want to kind of share the journey that led me there and the thought process that led me there, because maybe you're where I was before I found this peace, and I want to help you get there. So, a few months ago, I would say my life was probably in the worst place it's ever been. I was hopeless. I felt that I had nothing to offer this world. To tell you the truth, the thing that gave me peace wasn't any meditation, it wasn't any journaling, it wasn't any prayer, it wasn't anything. It was just letting go. And you might be sitting here thinking, Bailey, I've heard that before, but what actually is letting go? Letting go is an art. When you give up on the outcome and you just let yourself get lost in the process, that's when it happens. But let's go back to definitions. What is letting go? Letting go is the process of releasing control, attachment, or resistance to outcomes, situations, or emotions that no longer serve you. It's allowing life to flow naturally instead of holding on to expectations, fears, or grudges. It's about creating space for clarity, peace, and new possibilities. Meaning that sometimes in life we really, really want things to happen. We really want to be happy, or we really want that person to like us, or we really want something to happen, or we want money, or success, or power. And we cling on to it so tightly that it ruins us. Because you have to understand, your life is so vast and big that, let's say you don't have success or you don't have money. You still have like 20 other things to be grateful for and a million more reasons to stay alive and to enjoy life. But our focus becomes so narrow on this thing that we think, if I don't have this thing, this one thing in my life, I will not be happy. And I will not allow myself to be happy. And I will not allow myself to be grateful. And I will not allow myself to feel any ounce of happiness at all, unless I have this right here, right? And I was that way. But I was that way for wanting to be happy. And I'll explain this. Wanting to be happy can also be an attachment issue. Stay with me here, folks. I'm a little crazy, but stay with me. Happiness, or the concept of happiness, is going to look a lot different than you think it's going to. And sometimes the things that we want in life aren't actually going to make us happy. So everyone walks around and they have this pre-notioned idea in their head that happiness is the thing we have to strive for in society. If I'm not happy, then everything's horrible. Happiness is an emotion. The same way that you would never want to be sad all the time, you can't want to be happy all the time. It's an emotion. It means that you're feeling positively about what's happening in that current moment. But it's not going to last forever. Nothing in this world lasts forever. So the very basis of the idea that I want to be happy is an attachment issue, because you're focusing in so narrowly on this concept of happiness. But what actually is happiness? Like I said, it's an emotion. It's a state of being. It's not going to last forever. And when I realized that, it became really easy to sit with myself for a second. Because I was focusing in so narrowly on this feeling of like, I have to be happy. And in order to be happy, I need this in my life in order for me to be happy. And if I'm not happy, then I'm wasting my life and I'm a horrible human being. And what the fuck am I doing here even? And then I sat with myself for like 3 seconds and I was like, I'm pushing away all my other emotions because I'm trying to only feel happiness. I was like, what if I just let go of trying to be happy? I let myself have a good cry. I let myself feel all the anger that I feel. I let myself feel my sadness, feel my denial, feel my frustration, feel my feeling of being stuck. Just physically sit and let the negative emotions just course through my body. Feel them. And I did that for a few months and I was kind of a wreck. Like I would be crying every day at work and I just wore waterproof mascara and faked it. But then peace came. Peace came because I was no longer focused on being happy. I was just focused on being. Meaning it was almost like I took a step outside my skin for a second and I was like, okay, observe. Just observe. Just observe all of it. Look around at your life and just look at it as though you're looking at an animal in the zoo. Why is that elephant sad? Why isn't that elephant happy? That elephant should be happy. Look at it. That elephant should be happy. It doesn't look happy. You don't do that with an animal at the zoo. You go and you look and you observe. What is it doing? What does it feel like doing? How is it walking around? You just look at it. And I started doing that with my life. I was like, I don't care if I'm happy or not. And not in a pessimistic way, but just in a, if happiness is here, awesome. If it's not, also awesome. It means I get to experience a different emotion in this human experience. And I just allowed myself to exist within a state of being, of just purely existence. And I found great peace in that because, okay, you have to understand with any negative emotion, it's only going to last about 5 minutes. You sit down, you feel it for 5 minutes, and then it's gone. We think that, oh my God, if I feel a little bit of sadness, I'm going to feel it forever. If I feel a little bit of anger, I'm going to explode so hard that, I'm going to kill someone. We think that if we let ourselves give into negativity, it's going to consume us. But think on the opposite side. You gave into positivity and it didn't consume you. So what's the harm in giving into negativity? And I say that because no emotion is good or bad. There's ones that are painful, there are ones that are less painful, there are ones that are easier to feel long term, there are ones that are more difficult to feel long term. And obviously the painful emotions are trying to drive us away from something that is hurting us and is meant to guide us through this life, right? Because if you're feeling extremely sad about a topic or extremely angry about something, don't let that just sit within you. If it's driving you to make a change in your life or to be a different person, maybe follow that. But if you're just feeling anger and resentment towards people in your past, things you can't change, things you can't control, and you walk around with that every day, think about how heavy of a burden that is to carry. You're carrying around every single piece of baggage from your entire life with you every single day.
To phrase that a little bit better, your constant wanting to be happy and your attachment to feeling happiness all the time and wanting to be happy all the time is making it very difficult for you to experience negative emotions. So instead of feeling them, you hold them within you and walk around with them every single day. In order to release something, you have to feel it.
Like I said, for a few months, I let myself be sad. I let myself be angry. I let myself be tired. I let myself be frustrated. And I let myself feel happiness when I felt it. And I let myself feel other emotions when I felt them. And I learned to be the medium between the outside world and my inner feelings. Like just looking at what's going on in my life, being like, okay, it is what it is. My life is my life. I focus on what I can control, and if I can't control it, it's just a part of my reality. It just is. And I looked at my feelings the same way. I'm like, if it's happy, it's happy. If it's not, it's not. It's just here within this reality. I'm just observing all of this. And there's no reason to cling to happiness, and there's no reason to cling to anything, and there's no reason to cling to people, and there's no reason to cling to outcomes or anything. It's all completely out of our control, and that should give us uttermost peace because it's gonna work out. And even if it doesn't, we're gonna be okay. And even if we're not okay, it's still gonna be okay because it just is. One day, we're all gonna die. This is just an experience we're getting to have for a little bit. So walk around, feel it, exist it. Don't cling to things too deeply and just soak it all in. That's how you're going to find peace.